God grew wrathful and set out to punish Egypt with 10 dreadful plagues. The first punishment befell the Nile's waters, which turned to blood. All fish perished, and the river reeked of rot. Yet, none of the court advisors could do a thing to fix it. Next, millions of frogs swarmed out of the river. They were everywhere, on the streets, in palaces, inside houses, even on beds. When the frogs died, their corpses became infested with worms. And from those worms, millions of flies spread far and wide. The air turned foul and toxic. People barricaded themselves inside their homes, and those with wounds on their bodies were eaten alive by the flies. Their skin festered, breaking out in boils and rashes. Even Pharaoh's wife couldn't escape this affliction. Then the prophet Moses left a warning on *note. Original text missing a noun here, preserved as his asterisk. If Pharaoh refused to free the slaves, the next punishment would be far more severe. Pharaoh paid no heed to this, only making the slaves' living conditions harsher. As a result, Jews began dropping dead in the streets from exhaustion and starvation. Then God struck once more. A plague broke out among the livestock, and the animals started dying off. One minister suggested praying to the gods for help, but it did nothing. Soon after, a storm erupted, and enormous hailstones came crashing down from the sky, destroying all the crops. People fell in a panic, but things only got worse. Egypt was invaded by swarms of locusts, which devoured everything in their path. With food supplies and crops gone, crowds of starving people began storming the granaries. A minister proposed opening one of the storehouses, but Ramses not only refused, he had anyone who tried to sneak in and steal food executed on the spot. After that, Moses came with a final warning, but Pharaoh rejected him yet again. Moses relayed Pharaoh's refusal to God, and God declared that on that very night, all firstborn sons in Egypt would die. To protect the Jewish children, Moses ordered them to smear sheep's blood on their doorframes. When night fell, the city filled with wails, and thousands of sons died, including Pharaoh's own son. Upon learning the Jews had suffered no harm, Ramses said, "Leave." Moses gathered the Jews, and after 400 years of slavery, they finally left Egypt. Pharaoh, having buried his son, went insane. His wife, also driven mad, sat rocking an empty cradle. Then Pharaoh and 4,000 soldiers raced off in pursuit. Moses led the Jews to the shores of the Red Sea. He drew his sword, plunging it into the water, and began to pray. By morning, the sea split apart, revealing dry land beneath. The Jews stepped forward at first, then broke into a run when they saw the enemy drawing near. Pharaoh and his army stepped onto that dry land. A terrible mistake. Lightning flashed across the sky, and the sea waters came rushing back. The Egyptian army tried to flee, but all perished. Moses returned home, where his wife and son were waiting for him, and the Jews at last gained their freedom.